Okay, welcome back, patrons of Electric Sheep Labs. I know it's been a while, but I was starting school up and, among other things, messing around with this guy. This is going to be the first of a series of videos about drones. And so, yeah, this has been a pain in the butt over the past few weeks. Been trying to just get the thing to fly. I actually had the most luck with this flight controller. This is the K12 that came with the drone, but I have since purchased a Pixhawk, which is on here right now. So yeah, so the main issues I've been having with this drone are the ESCs and the flight controller. The ESCs, or electronic speed controllers, are these yellow things you see on each of the spars of the drone. And the ESCs are what provide three-phase power to the brushless motors. These are called Outrunner brushless motors, but old ESCs turned out. I think I fried them. I'm not really sure what happened, but I got some new ones, and these ones work great. But now the issue is getting the flight controller to work, and I haven't had any luck with the Pixhawk yet or the APM. I've got an APM here as well. I think the big problem is there's EK. I have to do more research. Either EKG or EKS. There's a redundancy built into the Pixhawk with this magnetometer and GPS module. So there's like this algorithm that weights the readings from the accelerometer and the gyroscope in the Pixhawk with the magnetometer in the GPS and magnetometer module. And I think those values are not agreeing because something screwed up with this compass with the readings it's getting. And so it's doing a lot of weird stuff. Sometimes it won't arm. Sometimes it'll start and flip over, which isn't great. So more work to be done with that. So today we're going to play around with the NACE 32 flight controller. It's self-sufficient in the sense that there's no redundancy built in with. It doesn't need outside extra modules to get it going. So I think just to get something working, I'm hoping this will do the trick. We're not just going to build a drone. Hopefully, the end goal of the project is to continue on. We're hoping to continue on what we did at the hackathon, which, if you haven't seen that video, here's a link up in the corner to that. But what we did at the hackathon was create a 3G or a 4G LTE connection for the drone so that you could fly it from anywhere in the world. And I guess the big part of that was building a bot on a server that enabled communication between like some laptop or computer with this wireless hotspot from Freedom Pop. Freedom Pop is the provider. We bought it. It's a pretty cheap little module or a little hotspot device, and they have, I think we're paying nothing right now for like half a gig a month. So you should check out Freedom Pop's essentially free data plan. I don't know how they're making money on that, but yeah, it's pretty nice. So anyway, the goal is to continue with that and get these drones flying on LTE connection. Yeah, so we'll try to get the NACE working, and if we get that working, then we'll use a Raspberry Pi to try to send it commands and also port the video feed over LTE. So let's see if it works out. We got our board soldered up. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to secure it on the drone. Damn that thing. So again, Pixhawk flight controller. By the way, these tie downs, these are like computer cable management for like the guys who make their own PCs, namely my roommates. These little things are awesome for tying down stuff on your drone. So do yourself a favor and invest in like a pack of, I don't know. What? Yeah, you're still in the video, Clint.
Oh, awesome.
This is, I think, what's been giving me so much trouble. This is the stupid UBlox, I don't know, Ready to Sky UBlox M8N. It's a GPS and compass module. There's the receiver. I would recommend a PPM converter. Very necessary to use at least a 6 or 8 channel receiver with a Pixhawk, because it has only PPM input. not PWM, which is what the battery or what the receiver outputs. So basically, all it does is mixes down the PWM signals from the receiver into one PPM encoded signal, which we can talk about that later. It's just an encoding method to combine the signals and get them all in one channel. So, okay, we got it connected. The Ace32 is flashed with the latest firmware, and you can see I'm using Clean Flight. And can you see it? No, you can't see it. Okay, Clean Flight, and you can see as I move the copter, the accelerometer responds at least, and we get on-screen updates of that. So that's good. I will now configure the drone, and we'll see what we get. Okay, let it be noted that I just spent the past 20 minutes trying to figure out why my Ace32 would not arm. For those of you who don't know, typically, I think in most setups, to arm a quadcopter or even a plane, you hold the stick, you hold the throttle down to the left. So that's throttle to 0 and the yaw to hard to the right. And it wasn't responding to that, even though I will turn this guy on. You can see, okay, so that's my throttle changing on the screen. You can see as I move the stick. So I was getting throttle input, and the yaw, that's the yaw right there. So input was fine. The problem is I had my stick minimum set to, I don't know, it was 1100, and the throttle only goes as low as 1120. So you can do this two ways. You can either change the throttle minimum on the controller. So if you have like a nice Turnigy where you can change the settings with a, like they have a little LCD screen, you can change the settings. You could change the throttle minimum so that it was below the threshold here, the stick minimum. Or you can change it here, and so you can't see this, but I bumped it up to 1130 now. And so basically what the Ace32 needs to see is that I have throttle at a minimum, or the throttle is below the minimum, and yaw is far to the right. And so you'll see then on the Ace32, here, that's ready. Okay, so that's enabled like this, and then to disable, you see that little pink light go off. It's disabled. Enable, disable. Okay, so just a dumb little thing, but dealing with stuff like this, and as I've said before to my roommates, this is the only thing worse than dialing up, or the only thing worse than tuning these drones and getting them happy is probably tuning 3D printers. Those things are a nightmare when you do it, when you build them from scratch, or from parts that you buy online. It's just a total nightmare. And so because there's all these little facets, all these little things that when you're starting out you don't know, you're kind of left at your own wits to figure things out. So it takes a lot of Googling and a lot of trial and error and messing around to really get things figured out. So persevere is the key, I guess. But we did, and we are now ready to go test. So let's go see if this thing can fly.
Gas or
That's weird. It's like not happy at all.
did you bend one of your things?
I don't know what it's doing. I have no idea what it's doing.
What's it doing, Nick?
I have no idea what it's doing. Okay, been at it for basically all of my Saturday, and this is how far we got. So that's full throttle. So I have the autopilot on. Here's autopilot off now. Full throttle. It's freaking out. The battery's charged up fine. I tuned everything, or I calibrated all the sensors. All my controls are fine. I have no idea what's wrong. But yeah, again, like I was saying, these things are about as fun to tune as like a 3D printer. They really suck. I should probably disarm that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But anyway, the point of all this messing around is I'd like to at some point get all of the different flight controllers working. Not because I'd like you to know that I'm not just switching between flight controllers because I can't get one working, so just buy another one and use that one. Even though it's been kind of the thought is just try as many fail fast, as what I like to say, and try to get one that works. So yeah, we have the APM 2.6, I think. This is the Naze 32. I have a Pixhawk now, and I also have a KK board, KK 1.2 board. None of them work well. Actually, the KK 1.2 is the one that came with this, and it worked the best for me, weirdly enough. But yeah, anyway, the point of all this is we're going to be developing this, hopefully, we're going to be developing the LTE drone thing, if we ever get one of these working, hopefully, for all platforms. So, APM, Pixhawk, we want to make it so it'll work on all of them, which is why I essentially didn't hesitate to go ahead and get a bunch of them. So, that's the reason. I'm not just flailing around, even though I kind of am flailing around hopelessly, trying to get this thing to work. But, yeah, so hopefully next video will be us flying, and also maybe hopefully by LTE as well. So stay tuned, don't get discouraged. If you need help, use the internet, because that's what I do. And comment if you think you know what's happening with this thing. Comment and let me know what's wrong, so that I'm not sad. So, okay, see you next time.